If you're still only investing into local companies, then you might be missing out. I get it. It's very tempting for us to invest into Malaysian companies first. I mean, we are very familiar with these names, right? Names like Maybank, TNB, Maxis. These are all companies that we know of or maybe even use. But we do need to expand our horizons a bit when it comes to investing. So in today's video, I will talk about why you need to consider investing into foreign companies as well, and 3 ways that you can do it easily as a Malaysian. So let's get to it. Let's start off with the why. And the first reason that you should consider investing into foreign companies is diversification, which is extremely important in the world of investments. One form of diversification is when we diversify in terms of which countries we invest in. So I don't want to invest into just Asian companies or just even US companies. So why would we only invest into Malaysian companies despite us being from Malaysia, right? I mean, Malaysia has been doing well. You know, the economy has been doing good and we all hope that it will be doing better in the future. But unless you're someone who is extremely bullish or extremely convinced that the Malaysian stock market will continue to go up, then you might want to consider diversifying into other countries as well. And this is what we call diversifying our geographical risk. But beyond that, another way that we're diversifying our risk is that when we invest into foreign companies, we're also getting access to certain sectors that maybe Malaysian companies are just not so good at. I'll give you guys some example. Let's say social media platforms like Facebook or e-commerce platforms like Amazon. These are companies where there are no real equivalents in Malaysia, right? Even Shopee that we use every single day, that is listed in the US. The name of the company is C Limited. So if we only invest into the local stock market, into Malaysian companies listed on Bursa, right, we will not get access to a lot of these consumer-facing tech companies, which of course have been doing extremely well. And that is just one example. And then the final form of diversification that we're getting is in the form of currency. So let's say we invest into US companies, we will need the US dollar, which means we're not also just all into the Malaysian ringgit. Now here, I can't say whether that's good or bad because it's impossible to know where the currency will go in the future. But if you're someone who invested into the US 10, 15 years ago when $1 was less than 4 ringgit, then you would probably be a lot happier. Another reason that you want to consider investing into foreign companies is that unfortunately, the Bursa or local stock market has not been performing so well. In fact, over the last 10 years, if you invested into the FBM KLCI, which is our benchmark index, you would actually be in the red, which means you would have had negative returns. If, let's say, instead you invested into an ETF that tracked the MSCI World Index, you would be up 140%. Or let's say you went all into the US over the last 10 years, the same period of time, you would be up 220%. So you can see there is a huge gap in performance. Now, to be clear, historical returns are not a good indicator of future returns. Doesn't mean that, the last 10 years this happened, so in the next 10 years the same thing will happen. Who knows? Maybe the Malaysian stock market will go on a massive bull run and it will be the best performer compared to any other country out there, right? It could happen. But if we just look at historical data, Bursa Malaysia has lagged behind other stock markets. And then the final reason that you want to consider investing into foreign companies is that we're actually very familiar with these brand names. So this YouTube video that you're watching right now, it's owned by Google. Those yoga pants that you or your girlfriend wants, it could be from Lululemon, and these are all American listed companies. And there's many, many more of these that I'm sure a lot of you guys are familiar with and use maybe even on a day-to-day basis. So don't worry if you're considering investing into foreign companies. It's not that we're going into a complete unknown and we don't know any of these companies at all. You'll be surprised we actually use a lot of their products, so don't worry. So now, if you're already convinced that you should diversify your portfolio a bit into foreign companies as well, then here are 3 easy options that you have as a Malaysian to invest into these companies. So the first option that you have is the traditional way, or what I would consider the traditional option, which is to use a brokerage account. So you sign up with one of these local brokerage options, maybe names like Rakuten or Mumu, and then you can instantly get access to both Malaysian and the US stock markets. Now, in these options, I'm going to be talking a lot about the US stock market. I know some of you guys might be thinking, hey, I thought you said you don't want to go all into the US. Well, the good thing is, because the US markets are so huge, they have ETFs that cover not just the US, but also foreign markets as well. So by investing into the US stock market, you can get access to any country out there. So the benefit of using brokerage accounts to invest into foreign companies is that, number one, you get full control over what you invest in. You decide which company or which ETF you want to buy, and you decide when you want to sell. Another benefit is that these brokers, or I guess this option, it tends to be cheaper over the long run because you only pay one-off transaction fees. So there are no management fees, there are no recurring annual fees or anything like that. You literally only pay these fees or commission whenever you make a transaction. Both of these options I mentioned, both Mumu and Rakuten, they are among the lower fee brokers in Malaysia. So if you guys are interested, you can check them out. But the downside of using brokers to invest your money is that it can be a bit tricky to navigate the platform, especially if you've never seen it before. Now, I'm not going to say it's hard. I think a lot of people have figured it out. It's definitely something that you can learn within a day, but it is still something that you need to learn. If you want to go this route, but you're not sure what stocks to invest in because, there are so many options out there and you don't know which one will do well, right? You can always go the ETF route, which is what I'm currently doing. And there are many, many ETFs that you can choose from. ETFs are basically a basket of many different stocks out there. So one very popular option is this ETF called VT, which covers the entire world and it invests in 9,800 different companies. So just by buying this one ETF, you immediately get exposure to 9,800 companies from all over the world. Some people just buy this single ETF and call it a day and, maybe it works for them. It is, I guess, a lot of diversification. Anyway, if any of you guys want to check out either Rakuten or Mumu, I'll leave the links to sign up down in the description of this video. You will be getting some nice sign-up rewards if you use my link and you'll support this channel as well. Speaking of ETFs, the second option that you have to invest into foreign companies as a Malaysian is extremely simple and easy to use, and that is Roboadvisors. There's a few options here in Malaysia, but the most popular names out there, I think, are guys like Stashaway, Versa, and Wahid Invest. These three are probably the top 3 robo-advisors in Malaysia. This, to me, is truly the easiest way for most people out there to invest because you don't even need to decide what stocks or what funds to invest in. Literally, all you have to do is download the app, sign up for the platform, and then answer some questions which will determine or which will help them determine your risk level or how much risk you're willing to take and what are your investment goals. And from there, they'll manage everything. And yes, they also invest into ETFs and other funds as well. But the downside of using robo-advisors is that you will lose control over what you invest in. So you cannot really decide, I want to invest into Apple only. They will do all the investing for you. But I guess that is kind of the point, right? This is mainly for people who, maybe they want to focus on their career or they want to focus on spending more time with their family and they don't want to make their brain go haywire thinking about what to invest in. This is a really good option. Just focus on all the other things in life and let these platforms sort it out for you. Another downside to using these platforms is that you will have to pay a recurring management fee. So I think most of them are between 0.2 to 0.8% per year, depending on how much money you have invested. And, I guess it's fair because they are providing you a service. They are making investing simpler for you. But like I said, these fees you will not pay if you use a brokerage account and invest directly yourself. So it is a convenience charge, I guess. So it's up to you what you want to do and which platforms you would rather invest your money in. I would say that personally, even as someone who is I wouldn't say extremely knowledgeable, but I do follow stock markets, I do know what to invest in, and I do know how to use my own brokerage account. Despite all of this, I still use robo-advisors for my investing as well because, the convenience, the ease is just undefeatable, I guess. But yeah, if any of you guys want to sign up with either Stashaway, Versa, or Wahid Invest, then again, I will leave the links down below. And again, you will get some nice sign-up rewards as well. And then the final option for Malaysians to invest into foreign companies is via unit trust, which works kind of like ETFs, except I think a lot more Malaysians know about them because you probably have a friend or family member who tried to sell you, these unit trust investments. Now you could go that route. You could invest into unit trust via an agent. Maybe you have a financial planner or you have a unit trust consultant who you trust and who you think is very in tune with the markets that they can make decisions for you. If you have this, then yeah, go ahead with those agents. But if I were to go this route, if I wanted to invest into foreign companies using unit trust, then I would rather use a platform like FSM1 or Fund Supermart. And the only reason that I would do that is the fees are just cheaper. Of course, then you need to decide which funds you want to invest in, but you won't have to pay the sales fee. Or usually these platforms will waive the sales fee. Whereas if you buy it through a person, you obviously have to pay some fee because, they need to pay the commissions. These days, you can even invest into unit trusts via apps like Touch and Go. So they have that option where you can invest your money into these products. It's essentially the same thing. You are buying similar funds, you're just buying it from different places. So it's up to you which one you want to use. Honestly speaking, I don't really invest into unit trusts. I don't think I have any, or maybe I have very little exposure to them right now in my portfolio. It's not that I think they are bad products, it's just not really my thing. And the reason that I included it in this video is because it is a legit option for you guys to consider. So going this route, if this is your choice, then yes, it is also a lot easier for you to manage your investment portfolio. You just choose a fund and then, it will sort itself out. There's usually a fund manager who will make decisions for you. So yeah, your investing will be quite simple once you start investing your money. You don't really have to think, when should I buy, when should I sell? All these things should be managed for you. But there are two downsides for this, which is one, the fees. You will have to pay not only the sales fee, depending on where you buy it from, but you will also have to pay a management fee to these fund managers who are managing your portfolios. And then the second, I don't know if this is considered a downside or an upside, I guess it depends, but you have to know that the performance of the fund that you are investing in will completely depend on the fund manager. If your fund manager is good, then your returns will be good. If your fund manager is bad, then yeah, you get the gist. If we compare this to ETFs, ETFs will usually track a stock index, which means that if the stock market is going up, your ETF will go up. If the stock market is going down, your ETF will go down. Unlike the ETFs though, these unit trusts, it can vary in terms of how it performs. Sometimes, the stock market goes up, depending on what the fund invests in, your performance could be bad. Sometimes the stock market goes down, again, depending on what your fund invests in, your investments could be pretty good. So yeah, it doesn't track the market. It will depend on the decisions of your fund manager. I will say this, I saw this tweet recently where it shows that less than 10% of unit trusts out there even outperform ETF. So yeah, I guess you guys can just decide whether this is for you or not. So in a nutshell, it is easy to invest in. You don't have to have a headache choosing what instruments or what assets you want to invest in. But the difficult part is you will need to choose the right funds, the right fund managers, and that can be very tricky because we don't even know them, right? Yeah, something to consider. So those are the three options that you have as a Malaysian to invest into foreign companies. All three of these options are legit, nothing wrong with any of them. Just pick based on your investment goals and also, just your general preferences. If you guys want to sign up for any of these platforms, then like I said, check out the links down below. Anyway, let me know in the comment section below, do you guys currently only invest into local stocks or do you also invest in foreign companies already? Thanks for watching this video to the end, guys. Give me a huge thumbs up if you enjoyed it and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. See you guys in the next one. Peace out.